AMC's The Walking Dead is one of the most popular TV shows, and indeed one of the most popular entertainment franchises in the world today. With 7 seasons of the show done and dusted, it's given fans a lot to talk about, including allowing them to come up with their own theories. That's what this video is all about. Check out these shocking The Walking Dead theories. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It's the best way to keep up to date with all of our great new videos. And before we get started, can you tell us which movie this is just by looking at the emojis? Hang around till the end of the video to find out if you guessed correctly.
You said I could do it.
Carl is an old man telling the story. Carl Grimes is the young son of The Walking Dead's protagonist, Rick Grimes. He has been played by Chandler Riggs since the very first season of the show back in 2010. He's an extremely divisive character who many fans find to be extremely annoying, and some of them even wish the show's writers would kill him off. But he seems to be completely fireproof and has survived everything thrown at him to date. Even his hat has emerged virtually unscathed after all that he's been through. And one theory suggests that there could be an explanation for that being the case. The theory is that Carl survived everything we've seen and will ever see in The Walking Dead and is now enjoying a safe new world. And the whole show is Carl as an old man remembering the heroes who made that new world possible. There's really no hard evidence or intelligent logic to support the theory, but does it matter? It's extremely interesting regardless, and would be a very unexpected way to end the show when it finally comes to a climax in the not-too-distant future. Although you can guarantee that the anti-Carl brigade would be absolutely furious about it. The Walking Dead world is Rick's coma nightmare. Now, it goes without saying that the Walking Dead universe doesn't really exist, but what if it doesn't even really exist in the Walking Dead universe? That would be pretty weird, right? Well, according to this theory, that might actually be the case, because as viewers of the show, what we've been watching is a crazy world being concocted inside of Rick Grimes' fevered brain as he lies lifeless in his coma. The characters in the world all work at the hospital and are based on Rick visualizing the voices he can hear speaking around him. Herschel is one of the senior doctors, Maggie is a young nurse, Daryl is a fellow patient in a bed near Rick's, Carol is a badass surgeon, and so forth. Heck, even the horrible diet of people in places like Terminus could be represented by the awful foods seen in a hospital. In all seriousness, this theory has actually been debunked by series creator Robert Kirkman, who categorically tweeted Rick is not still in a coma. The events of TWD are definitely happening. But there's more. Kirkman did say this about Rick. He actually never found his family. He's been crazy since he killed his first zombie. Hashtag joking? What do you think of that?
See this? This is the kind of thing that just tickles my balls. A little cooperation, and everything is pleasant as punch.
Negan is a con artist. Negan is, of course, the tyrannical dictator of the community of survivors called the Saviors. Having first appeared at the end of Season 6 of The Walking Dead, he became one of the show's most vicious and powerful antagonists, and he's infamously responsible for the deaths of beloved characters like Abraham and Glenn. In the comic books, Negan has an official backstory. He was a school teacher and sports coach, but very little is known about Jeffrey Dean Morgan's version of the character. This particular theory, however, suggests that his actual history is that of a con artist. Whatever story you may have heard about Negan, he wants you to believe it, because the reality is you'll never really know his strategy. He's a master of deception and a fantastic actor, and in the wasteland that is the Walking Dead universe, he can continue using his skills and deception to manipulate reality, just as he did before the world fell. It's a great survival mechanism. People believe he's tough, powerful, and a leader because that's what his performance makes them believe. If it turns out to be true, the future could be very bleak for Negan if people find out, as everybody he's ever lied to will be extremely ticked off.
We could charge him.
Well, charge him when he's healed. For now, go away.
She do all the talking?
Get out.
I'm not as eloquent.
A Walking Dead character is related to Fear the Walking Dead's Madison. Ever since The Walking Dead's companion show, Fear the Walking Dead, first aired in 2015, fans of the Walking Dead universe have been talking about a possible link between the two series. The character who crops up the most in discussions about possible links tends to be Fear the Walking Dead's Madison, and there are a number of characters in The Walking Dead that fans are theorizing she could be related to. The most obvious potential relative from The Walking Dead is Andrea. The two actresses who play Madison and Andrea, Kim Dickens and and Laurie Holder bear a striking resemblance to each other, which does make you think Dickens' casting was intentional for this very purpose. But some fans believe it could be another character that she's related to. Other theories suggest that she could be Rick Grimes' sister, Laurie Grimes' sister, Carol's sister, or even a relative of the Dixon brothers. Madison's surname is Clark, but that came from her marriage to Stephen Clark, so it doesn't rule her out as a relative to anyone with a different surname. As of early October 2017, a crossover between The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead has been confirmed. Surely, if this theory turns out to be true, that crossover will reveal how Madison is linked to a character from The Walking Dead's cast.
Most of that brain is dark.
Dark, lifeless, dead. The frontal lobes, the neocortex, the human part, that doesn't come back. The you part. Just a shell driven by mindless instinct.
The virus was created by aliens. The source of the virus in The Walking Dead isn't known. Moreover, series creator Robert Kirkman told in attendance at 2017 San Diego Comic-Con that he knows what caused it, but fans will never find out, citing the cause as dumb. But this hasn't stopped fans from coming up with their own theories about it. One of the more zany theories about the origins of the virus is that it was created by aliens, and there's a fairly sensible reason as to why that's the case. Walkers snack on non-humans as well as humans in the show, and there hasn't been any cross-species transmission of the virus to date. This would suggest that the virus was designed to work specifically on human beings. The theory therefore suggests that the virus is the product of a highly advanced extraterrestrial race and was designed to eliminate the dominant species on Earth, which would prevent them from opposing colonization and minimize the level of damage caused to the environment and infrastructure. The fact that all humans in the world have the virus within them also means it's unlike any other viruses, as well as, of course, does the fact that it brings the dead back to life, which no terrestrial virus has ever done before. It's all leading up to an alien invasion in the series finale. Just imagine. Walkers are powered by the sun. So we may not know what the source of the Walker's virus is in the Walking Dead universe, but we do know that they stay in tip-top shape by feasting on the flesh of living creatures, both human and otherwise. But this theory suggests that they're also powered by the sun, or up to a point at least. If this theory were true, it would certainly explain why walkers can survive indefinitely without food. The sun metabolizes the walker's cells, which is also why any walkers stuck in dark places are less lively unless they're disturbed or alerted by the prospect of food. Additionally, the theory would explain why bodies in graves didn't come to life when the world went crazy, and why the undead aren't clawing their way up to the surface. It's because the sun hasn't been metabolizing their cells. It's an interesting theory because in most fiction, undead characters such as vampires or the Darkseekers in I Am Legend are totally averse to sunlight. In fact, in many cases, it outright kills them. So to potentially have it providing the undead walkers with life in the Walking Dead universe would make a refreshing change. It takes place in the same universe as Lost. This theory suggests that The Walking Dead takes place in the same universe as another immensely popular television show, and that show is Lost. Lost had various twists and turns, that means it's very easy to imagine it being part of almost any other movie or television universe. We already know that it has ties to everything J.J. Abrams ever made, so why can't it be connected to The Walking Dead? In the show, the Dharma Initiative's intention was to disrupt scientific laws surrounding the Valenzetti equation, which was represented by the numbers 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, and 42. That particular sequence is connected to a date marking the end of humanity, which could be a zombie apocalypse like the one in The Walking Dead. Also, in Lost, after Dharma was shut down, 2 of their former employees went to work for the Hanzo Foundation, which was a company who researched methods of preserving human life and promoting well-being. That sounds like something that could go catastrophically wrong and end up inadvertently creating a zombie virus for the rest of the world. Moreover, a mechanic who Lost character Kate met in a flash sideways scene just so happened to be played by Jeff Kober, who played Joe, the leader of the Claimers in The Walking Dead, who was a mechanic before the outbreak of the Walker virus. It takes place in the same universe as Breaking Bad. Lost isn't the only other television show that The Walking Dead may be set in the same universe as. This theory suggests that it might also take place in the same universe as Breaking Bad. Back in Season 2 of The Walking Dead, Daryl was revealed to have a bag belonging to his brother Merle in his possession. When he was rummaging around in said bag to find something to help T-Dog with, a number of more observational viewers noticed a stash of crystal meth inside. The key thing about the stash of crystal meth? It was blue. Anyone who's seen Breaking Bad knows that Walter White's signature meth was a blue color. This has led some fans to create theories that The Walking Dead follows on from the events of Breaking Bad, with Merle having bought the drugs from Walter or someone else who worked for him. Both shows are actually owned by the same network, so this particular theory is actually quite plausible, certainly more so than the Lost theory. Moreover, in season 5, when Daryl is talking to Beth, he mentioned a dealer he knew and described him as a janky little white guy, who once threatened him by saying, "I'm gonna kill you, bitch," which sounds uncannily like his dealer could have been Breaking Bad's Jesse Pinkman. Rick reacts differently to the virus. Isn't it amazing how many times Rick Grimes has been in mortal danger and how often he's been hurt throughout 7 seasons of The Walking Dead? In fact, the very first time we met him, he awakened from a coma in spite of the fact that the hospital he was in had been derelict for some time. So what could this mean? This is undoubtedly one of the more far-fetched theories, but it could mean that Rick reacts differently to or is completely immune to the Walker virus seen in The Walking Dead. Whenever there's a real-life epidemic, not everyone exposed to it falls victim to it, or displays the symptoms of any given virus. So it could be that that's the case with Rick in The Walking Dead. Rick may in fact have died repeatedly throughout the show, maybe even before we met him, but because of the way his body responds to the Walker virus, he keeps coming back to life instead of turning into a zombie. This could mean that Rick could never actually die. He may be functionally immortal, which in the universe of The Walking Dead could actually be considered a fate even worse than death.
At least 68 citizens of the Republic have been killed in 4 deadly attacks along the main coastal district. The group has continued their campaign of random violence, moving across the countryside unfettered, with the Republic's military forces in disarray.
There are no walkers. The Walking Dead is all about, well, The Walking Dead, obviously. The world in the show is supposedly filled with walkers, who are dead people that have risen from the grave, hungry for human flesh. But what if walkers don't actually exist in the Walking Dead universe at all? Wouldn't that be something? Well, this particular theory suggests that Rick Grimes and his allies are nothing more than a group of maniacs, roaming the world getting their thrills by murdering ordinary people. And they're justifying their killing spree by calling all of their victims walkers. What we're seeing as viewers watching the show is the world as it looks in their twisted and skewed view of it. Something happened in season 5 of the show that fuels this theory. In the episode in which Tyrese died, after he was bitten by a walker, he hallucinated as the fever inevitably took a hold of him. He heard a BBC broadcast narrated by Andrew Lincoln in his real-life British accent, talking about widespread attacks taking place. The broadcast was in fact detailing Rick's group's journey up to that point in the show. Could that actually have been the reality? This theory certainly suggests as much. And that's the end of our video. Did you enjoy it? Do you have any Walking Dead theories of your own? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more great videos just like this one. And the answer to the emoji quiz is, well, we hope you had fun guessing. Catch you guys later.